Hi, Kelly here from freebiefindmom.com. I'm going to go ahead and invite in our friends over on the Freebie Finding Mom Facebook page, and then we'll get started. Hi, Kelly here from freebiefindingmom.com with another Friday session of Money Talk, where basically we just go through your finance questions from this past week, some of the more popular finance questions, and read through some of the responses that I received on the Freebie Finding Mom Facebook page. So the first question, let's go ahead and get started. The very first, by the way, once you're watching this video, if you will, give it a thumbs up or a like, depending if you're watching from Facebook or if you're watching from YouTube, and leave any questions you have in the comments, or go ahead and let me know where you're viewing from and just say hi. I'd love to know who's out there watching. So the first question, like I say, is from Crystal. Crystal wanted to know, how do you do Disney on the cheap? She said, I'm trying to decide if we can afford to take the kids to Disney World for Christmas. So great question, Crystal. I've actually thought of that too. The only reason I've never done that, well, one of the main reasons I've never done that with Ian is I always wondered what the crowds would be like. I worried that they would be insane, and that maybe that could be not as much fun. But I welcome you guys' comments as to whether or not did you have a good experience when you went there around the holidays. So having said that, though, let's answer Crystal's question and address any ways we can save money on Disney. So Sarah, thank you for sharing. Sarah said, bring your own food into the park. I completely agree, Sarah. I know we took Ian to Disney World when he was 2. And I packed pretty much everything we needed for our outing, with the exception of, I think maybe we ended up buying like 1 or 2 drinks when we were there. But for the most part, I packed everything and that was a big money saver. So I agree with you on that, Sarah. She also said they went for Christmas a few years ago, and she said it was crazy packed. She said we could barely move through the crowds and the lines. And that is a concern I would have, Crystal. I mean, if that crowds don't bother you whatsoever, then by all means go during the holidays. But we don't love crowds. And so that was a bit of a deterrent for us to not go during the holidays. But anyway, so pack your own food is a good recommendation. Susie said it is much cheaper at Universal Studios. She said, I think the rides are better too, especially for boy stuff. So you can maybe save money if you went to Universal than say Magic Kingdom. And then Jennifer said, check out a free Disney travel agent. I didn't even know there was such a thing as a free Disney travel agent. So thank you for sharing that, Jennifer. That's really a good recommendation, because those travel agents are going to have all the insights. They're going to know some of the best ways for you to save money and navigate through the parks and really maximize your experience wherever you want to go. So definitely, if you can find a free Disney travel agent, that would be a great idea. Rachel said, don't go to Magic Kingdom. She said, you will spend all your money to stand out in the heat. It is too much packed in the Magic Kingdom. She said, you can't do it all. She had a better experience at Epcot. So thanks for sharing that, Rachel. I know when we went to, I think, Animal Kingdom, we went to Magic Kingdom. But I think if we were to go again here, we would definitely do different parks. Not that we didn't like them, but I think Ian's interests now are a little bit different too. That's good to know that, like Rachel said, that don't go to Magic Kingdom. There's too much there. They had a great experience at Epcot. And then Kathy, thank you for sharing that link. If you didn't see Kathy's link that she dropped in the comments for this post, you might want to check it out if you have any interest. If you have any interest at all into going to Disney with your family, she dropped a link for a $35 Disney World ticket deal. So when I started to look at that, Kathy, I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know a site like this existed. And I've done some research as far as like reduced Disney tickets and cheap Disney tickets and stuff. So thank you, Kathy, for sharing. So check out her link if you want to see how you can get cheaper tickets to Disney World. Next question comes from Amanda. Amanda said she needs advice. I read this, Amanda. I'm so sorry. She said she needs advice on an overspending husband. She said so far this month, he has spent over $200 over their budget amount. She said, I took away his credit cards and he has no cash to spend anymore this month. That's a really tough situation. So you guys, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with Amanda. You guys were very insightful, and it sounds like, unfortunately, a number of you had a similar situation. And that's another one of the reasons I really posted your question, Amanda, is because I feel like it's unfortunately more common than what many of us realize. And I know some of us don't want to talk about finances, or some people don't want to talk about finances, whether it's because they feel ashamed or they did something wrong, or maybe they're embarrassed by them or whatever. But there's no reason to be embarrassed. because there's no judgment here. That's one thing I will always tell you whenever I do these Facebook Lives is, you do what is right for your situation. I just share insights from other people and what I would do, but I am not big on giving any critique or judgment on anybody because nobody knows what everybody's dealing with. So next, sorry, I had a phone call there. So then you guys were kind enough to share your thoughts. Noni said, treating him like a 12-year-old son won't stop anything. She said, there are bigger problems around the bend, get counseling. That's kind of was one of my first thoughts, Noni, was that there's probably a bigger issue underlying there and other than just the spending. So if you don't feel like for whatever reason you're able to communicate with your spouse, Amanda, I would say counseling is probably a good option because like Noni said, just restricting him, it's going to rear its head in some other ways. He's going to end up potentially getting upset with you and then just getting really frustrated that he feels like a juvenile unless he wants those safeguards in place, unless he knows he's not good at handling money and he wants you to help him with that. So it really depends on your relationship with him, but I do recommend that counseling's not a bad idea. Corinne, thank you, Corinne, for sharing your experience. So it sounds like Corinne has been in the exact same situation as Amanda, and this is what Corinne said that she has done, and that what it sounds like it works for her. She said that won't solve it, meaning taking away his credit cards and his cash. She said that won't solve it. It's just going to make him push harder. Corinne said, I've learned you can't control anyone, especially an adult. You can only control yourself. She said, I decided it wasn't worth the marriage for the fight, so I let him do his thing. She said she opened a savings account in her name and had direct deposited from her paycheck. She said this way she felt better and because she knew he wasn't spending all their extra money. And then she said, unfortunately, he accidentally found out about that savings account a year later, accidentally, and that he realized it had thousands of dollars in it. So she said he still spends what he wants, and she just chooses to ignore it. But she said that she has an emergency fund in place, which and so it works for her. So she knows that they do have a bit of a cushion. So Corinne, thank you for sharing that. So I actually, the thing with marriage and with kids and with anything, you always hear pick and choose your battles. So it sounds like Corinne is like, you know what, this is not a battle I'm choosing, but she's smart that she decided to, put some money aside. She's not going to just let him spend all of it. So I like that she has kind of set some guards in place to protect her and her family, from his overspending. So thank you, like I said, Corinne, for sharing that insight. Leanne, thank you for sharing. I saw your comment. It sounds like she has a similar situation in her family as well. She was saying that she had family members in a similar situation, and what they did is gave the spouse a prepaid card and took away the debit card. That's another option. And she said that when he needed money, he would tell her, and then she would transfer money to his card. And it wasn't perfect, but it worked. And she said if someone can't handle access to their money, then the only solution she feels is to treat them like a 12-year-old or to separate and go on your own way. So, and then she said, otherwise, it's going to take you and your family down with them. That's a very valid point, Leanne. I will say my advice is it really depends on your relationship with your spouse. If he knows that he's not good with money and that he needs help with money, like say for instance, I love cake. I love sugar. I love icing. I love cake. If I'm on a diet and I know that I'm trying to restrict myself from eating cake and I know it's in my face, I'm going to probably end up eating it. So that's why it's kind of like, I don't want anybody to put cake in my face. So if you know, or your spouse knows he's not good with money, maybe he welcomes like a prepaid card. Maybe he wants that in place, and then it could work. But I will say if he doesn't have that perspective, if he thinks he's an adult and he can spend what he wants and doesn't see a problem with his spending, then you're going to it's a bigger issue. You're going to obviously either go to counseling or you're going to have to put on some kind of a budget or do what Corinne did and say, you know what, I'm not going to choose this battle. I'm going to set my own account to the side so I know that we are protected if we need it, and just kind of go around him in that way. So it just really, like I say, depends on him or her, if it's the other spouse, depends on him. And then it depends on your relationship with him and if they want that help to prevent them from overspending or if they see no issue with themselves. So hopefully some of those solutions can give you some help there, Amanda. Sorry that you're in that difficult situation. Next question comes from Christy, and Christy says, what does everyone use to track their bills, accounts, and spending? And you guys, thank you for sharing. Mary said she wondered the same thing. It sounds like, because she also needs to get her finances organized. So next we have Caitlin, who said her husband maps it out in Excel spreadsheets. And I'm like your husband, Caitlin, because that's what I do. I've thought about using programs. There's a slew of programs out there. But to be honest with you, I've just been using Excel since college. So I just sort of stick with it. But I know there's great programs out there. Like Leslie said that she uses Quicken. She said it's a great program to track your accounts, your bills, and tell you what you're spending your money on. Jackie uses Quicken as well. Heather said she uses a spreadsheet. And as you know, on Freebie Finding Mom, I have a slew of budgeting spreadsheets that are free to download that you are welcome to reference. If you want to know where a lot of those free printables are, and I have many, many, many of them, on Freebie Finding Mom, you're going to want to go to the freebies heading and then look for free printables. You'll sign up for the email newsletter, and then you will have unlimited access to all the free printables. You never have to pay anything. You'll just have unlimited access to those printables. Next is Rachel said that she uses QuickBooks, and Casey said that, or Cassie, I don't know why I cannot say her name, but Cassie said that mint.com is super awesome. And I agree. I do like mint.com, but she said she's currently using calendarbudget.com. So those were some of the most popular questions from this past week. A few more items that I want to chat with you guys about is the first one, don't forget to grab the Kroger freebie today. You can download it today, but you have a good couple weeks to go ahead and redeem it in the store. Some kind of a snack mix. I want to say, what was it? Pitos or something, kind of a snack mix. So grab that freebie and try those if you haven't. The other thing I want to chat with you really quick about is that I got to have, if you follow me on Instagram, which I hope you do, because I love Instagram. It's such a fun social media platform if you're not on it, especially the stories. If you don't know what the Instagram stories are, it's basically at the top where you see the circle and the person's face or their logo in there. You click on that and that'll go to like short little videos. I love watching those because I feel like I get a sense of who the people are that I follow and kind of what's going on in their life and whatever they want to share and whatnot. But I like those stories too. So anyway, so you know what? I'll drop my Instagram profile link in the comments down here when I jump off this video, if you're not following me. So like I said, I love to share fun stuff on Instagram. So last Sunday I had a Young Living Essential Oils party at my house here. And I shared a couple of quick little videos from that party on Instagram. And I'm getting a number of questions. A number of you guys have picked up your kits already, and I'm so excited for you because I know you're going to like Young Living Essential Oils and their products, and I think they're going to really help you and your family. And so I'm excited that you guys are trying those. Having said that, I'm going to go ahead and do a Zoom call this week. If you don't know what a Zoom call is, it's basically like a video call, pretty much, for anybody who, well, some of the new people who've gotten some kits. So I'm going to be doing a call for just at least a couple people that I've invited to do the kits. And then I'm getting enough questions from you guys about Young Living that I thought I would open it up to you as well. If you have an interest in Young Living, or if you have picked up your kit, or if you want to pick up a kit, or like I said, you just want to learn more about the oils, I'm going to invite you to this call as well. I will advertise it here on the Freebie Finding Mom Facebook page. And so far as what day and time we're going to do next week, I'm looking at schedules right now. But in there, we're going to do a deep dive into one of the 4 kits, and that being the most popular kit, which is the oil kit that comes with a diffuser. And so in there, we're going to answer your questions and just kind of go through the kit with you. And with people who've already purchased their kit. So if that's of interest to you, either message me and I will let you know when we're going to have it, or be on the lookout on the Facebook page for when I'm going to do that next week. And because I'm also getting a number of questions from you about Young Living and some of the products, I want to just quickly take a few minutes here and kind of give you a Cliff Notes version of 4 different kits, because I think people sometimes get confused as to what are the kits? How do I know which one is right for me? Why do I want this one versus this one? So I'll give you just a real quick Cliff Notes version of the 4 different options. So the first kit, like I said, is the Young Living Essential Oils kit. And it's the one that most people get started with. It's how I got started. It's with how most, like I say, people get started. And that's when you're going to get 11 of the most popular essential oils, and you're going to get a diffuser with it. And you'll get some other stuff, some samples and whatnot. But those are the main things that you'll get in that kit. And that's great if you have any sort of ailment whatsoever. You're pretty much going to probably find an oil that's going to help you with it. If you have a question, if you have an issue either for you or your children, message me and I'll let you know what oil I would recommend for that. So I have no problem doing that. So that's the first kit. Like I say, a lot of people either diffuse the oils, or they will use them for health purposes, or that's pretty much the main reasons. I would say health purposes or diffusing them. The second kit is one of my faves, and that's the mineral makeup line. If you have, even if you don't have complicated skin, but if you just like mineral makeup, you're gonna wanna check this out. It's really great makeup, performs really well, and it's great for your skin, which is what I love. But if you're like me and has kind of combination, kind of acne prone skin like I do, that's why I love it. I love the makeup. It's easy to use, it works good, and it's great for my skin, which I like. It's not gonna make me break out. It's not gonna make anything, you know, flare up or anything. So I love it. It's very gentle makeup. The third kit that you may want to check out is the one my mom just picked up actually. And that is because it's called the Ningxia Red Kit. And in there, you're gonna get a number of different things, but the biggest thing you're gonna get is the Ningxia Red juice, the drink. And it's a drink that's great for energy. That's why my mom got it. I think lately has felt like she just been kind of feeling sluggish and needed more of a pick me up during the day. So she picked up the Ningxia Red, which is wonderful for that. It also is just packed with a lot of vitamins and minerals that our body needs. So if you feel like you're not eating enough of the right foods or your kids aren't getting enough of the right foods, they can take this Ningxia Red as well. And it just is great, especially going into cold and flu season. It's just probably a great time to get started with something like that. And then the fourth kit is the one that I would say probably had the most interest at my Young Living party this Sunday. That I really wasn't anticipating that, but a number of people were excited about the Thieves Kit. And what that is if you're interested in learning how to clean with all natural cleaners, it's all purpose as well. It can be on all different surfaces. But if you're interested in all natural cleaners, so kind of getting rid of some of the toxins and the harmful chemicals in our home, then you're going to want to check out the Thieves Kit. And I can go into much more detail about each of those kits if you have an interest, but that's kind of just a Cliff Notes version of the 4 kits. And then I give some freebies. Like if you purchase your kit from me, I give incentives back to you, like $20, either a gift card or PayPal cash, whatever you want. And then I give you a nice welcome kit as well. So anyways, I hope you can join the Zoom call. I will, like I say, advertise it here on the Facebook page, and that's going to go into more detail for the most popular kit, which is the oil kit. And I'm also going to drop a link underneath my Instagram profile. I'm going to give you a link to my Oily Friends Facebook group, which is a group that you don't have to have essential oil experience. You may just be curious about oils. You're welcome to join that group and just ask any questions you have, and just kind of read along. I think it's really insightful in that group. So you're welcome to join that if you're not already a member. So I'll drop a link to that down below as well. But that's it. That's what's going on this week. It's been a crazy week. I'm ready to get back into a routine again. We did Ian's open house yesterday where we met his teacher and went to his class and all that stuff. And so it's hard to believe, but Tuesday is going to start first grade. So hopefully I'll be back into routine, doing even more videos for you guys, answering even more of your questions, especially Young Living questions. I'm so excited that so many of you have questions about Young Living and their products, because I believe that they will help you and your family. So in fact, in a future video, I'm going to share some of the oils that I'm using for Ian's ears. He's very earache prone. Like he's had tubes 3 times and he's had his fair share of earaches. So I'll tell you what I'm starting to do with him with using oils. So that's another thing I neglected to mention to you is I like these oils for the fact that I feel like it's preventative care. I'm not someone who's going to say, oh, I'm never going to go, use medications or anything like that. That's not true at all, because I absolutely will. I love these oils because I feel like not only can they treat an ailment that you either have today, but they are preventative care, and especially on kids and going back to school and with cold and flu season. If I can do anything to help, prevent the spread of germs or prevent him catching something, I'm going to do it, especially if it's all natural. So that's what I like. If you have children out there, like I said, as you head back to school, you might just want to think about some of these oils for that reason. There is an all-natural way to kind of help prevent them from getting sick, basically, which is important as parents, because nobody wants that. So having said that, that's what's going on. School starts on Tuesday, so hopefully I'll get back into a normal routine, and I'll be doing even more videos for you guys. As always, I really appreciate you leaving your comments and your questions either down below in Facebook or whether you're watching on YouTube. You're more than welcome to keep direct messaging me. That works as well. I still get those messages too. And I just appreciate you taking the time to watch this video and to leave your comments down, whether it be on YouTube or Facebook. I hope you have a fun weekend planned. I hope the kids, either back at school or if they start soon, have a very happy and successful school year. Take care and have a great weekend. Bye-bye. I'm done, Ian.